All right, welcome to day two of Ty is a Mother podcast, the Mother's Tea series that we are having. And I am super, super excited about day two guest. This is somebody I grew up with, somebody, honestly, I'm going to be honest with y'all. At one time, I didn't like this person in life, but just so happened we end up becoming the bestest friends. And I am forever grateful for her. So her name is Marquita. Pinky London, or should I say Marquita Pinky Busby, if you from back in the day, London. My girl then got married on the people. So Pinky, go ahead and jump on in, introduce yourself, say how many kids you got, and name one thing that describes your motherhood.
Again, Marquita Pinky London. Everybody calls me Pinky. I have 6 kids, 3 girls, three
Damn, girl, that's a lot
boys.
of kids. I'm playing. I'm playing. Go ahead. I'm bad.
3 girls, 3 boys. 5 of them have graduated, so I got one left going to high school. Praise the Lord. Um, and one thing I would say to describe my motherhood is it is unpredictable and forever changing
Oh,
because I am forever learning. I am forever trying to navigate these waters and trying to do better than what I had when I was a kid. Because when you know better, you do better. So,
girl. Okay, so we're gonna be serious throughout this podcast, y'all. But we're gonna be serious, but we also gonna joke. If you know us, you know us. Okay. All right. So yes, you are definitely right, Pink, when you said um that you are always learning in motherhood because it is. It's an ongoing process. It doesn't
yeah.
stop. Some people they be quick to say, well, when my baby turned 18, because you just say you had five that graduated, not one, two, three, but you have five that have graduated, right? So even though they're grown and they have moved on to their new journeys and things like that, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you still learning because nothing with motherhood comes with no book, right? So as moms, we tend to sometimes get lost in the sauce, right? With motherhood, we lose our identity, we just become a mom, right? So I want to ask you, what do you wish people understood better about the experience of being a motherhood? Because sometimes people be out here, oh, I can't wait to have a kid, woo the woo, dressing like this, do this, but what is something that you want people to understand about motherhood?
Um, so I definitely think motherhood is a blessing because, there are a lot of people who, can't have kids. And so it's definitely a blessing, but I do think that it's one of those situations where there's a lot of, I don't want to say false entitlement because it's not entitlement, but like just a lot of unappreciation that people don't think that they do.
Mm,
We do a lot. Mothers do a lot in general. And I think
yeah.
the expectation, and that's what I mean, society has this expectation that this is what you're supposed to do, so it's expected, and when it's expected it's not really appreciated all the time, so it's easy to kind of feel like you're doing all these things but you're not being appreciated for them. So I think people
Mm.
love the
So,
fact of having babies and dressing them up and taking the pictures, and you know they smell so good when they little, and the it sounds
mm-hmm.
good. The whole experience sounds wonderful. But a lot of times we don't talk about mom guilt. We don't talk about postpartum depression. We don't talk about losing ourselves, especially when you're married at the
Mm.
same time. You're trying to be a wife, you're trying to be a mother, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a teacher, you got to be a friend, you got to be a therapist. You have to do all these things. And again, a lot of times
Mm.
it goes unnoticed and unappreciated because it's the expectation. And if you drop the ball anywhere, it's a problem. You're a horrible mother, you're a
Right.
bad mother. You're not doing what you're supposed
Mm.
to do. Like God forbid you have a day where you just need a break. We don't get them. That's the main
No.
thing I would tell people. You don't get no breaks. If you think you're gonna get some, you're not. You get no breaks.
None.
And even if you hiring nannies or whatever, you still don't get a break because when you hire help, then again, you still have that stigma where it's like, well, you not taking care of your child because you have help. So it's kind of like a
Wow,
double-edged sword.
that's
You
true.
can't win for losing.
That's true. And see, earlier you had mentioned, okay, you're a mom, you're a therapist, you're a lawyer. You pretty much you're a lot of titles, right?
Hmm.
So how has motherhood impacted your identity? Like, who are you besides being a mom?
I had to ask myself that question a couple years ago. Um, so I mean, but the people don't. I have three biological kids. I have a stepson, and I have two adopted daughters. So,
Mm,
I pride myself on my motherhood. So, when we grew up, it was kids supposed to be seen, not heard.
right.
You didn't ask why, you just did what you were told to do. So, us. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm a gentle parent, cuz we know I'm not. But but I did try to like change some of the things that I myself didn't like as a kid. So, you know, allowing my kids to ask me questions, allowing my kids to express themselves. Cause back in the
Mm.
day we couldn't say, well, you hurt my feelings, or mama, you was
Girl, you
wrong for
better not
this.
say somebody
Yeah,
hurt
you
your
was
feelings. You
gonna
finna got slapped.
yeah, I was gonna get slid. So so I just took my little L's and was like, okay. So that was one of the things that I always said as a mom that I would do, is that I wouldn't be afraid to say I'm sorry and admit that I
Hmm.
was wrong. So I try my best to do those things because I'm not perfect, and as the old folks say, there ain't no book to this. We don't know.
None.
This is one of the situations. Motherhood is definitely something where you have to take it day by day. You wake up and just hope you get it right, because it's
Yeah.
no other way to go about it. So I do my best. I pride myself on my motherhood, but it also takes a toll on me. So I've learned to take my time for me, because I be done drove myself crazy.
Yep.
Just trying to be I try to be so perfect for them. If they say I yell too much, then I go without talking. Then they say, well, you're not talking no more. Then
Hmm.
so, and it's always a backstory to it. If you ask them to do something, and the 10th time when you crash out, then you mean, and all you do is yell all the time. But we ain't talk about the 9 times I asked you nicely. So I just learned to kind of, I love being a mom, and it has become who I am. And it's crazy
Yeah.
because I'm a mom first and everything else is second nature. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think it can become a bad thing when you don't pick up everything else behind being a mom and find that time for yourself to kind of thrive and be who you are, because as moms we do. The moment we find out we pregnant, our life is over and we're focused on those other lives.
Yeah.
So,
That's a God honest truth. You do. You stop everything, and that's what something I wish some moms would know. Well, not moms, like girls who always say, "I want to, can't wait to be a mom."
mhm.
No, you're becoming a selfless person because you're no longer the priority. Like that baby is the priority. You got to make sure that they have everything they need, especially in those infant and toddler stages and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot, but hey, it's rewarding. So how do you find joy in all your chaos? Because you have 6 kids. I mean, y'all have the dojo, like y'all do y'all jujitsu. I can't even get that word out. Say the word.
You said it right. You said
I did because
jujitsu.
it sounded like my dialect and my
Mhm.
flow wasn't flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all
you
guys,
spit it out
y'all have
good.
a lot. Y'all have movie time, like yeah, y'all are doing a
Mhm.
lot. So how in the world do you find joy in your busy schedule of being Pinky?
I will say that, like, starting the martial arts definitely played a big part in me being able to kind of stay sane,
Mm,
because being able to go and get that aggression out, punch, kick, do whatever it is I need to do to just have that time and wear myself out and just kind of woo-saw, has been great. But I think I try to find balance in just the small stuff. We have so much
mm,
going on all the time, with graduations, birthdays, holidays. This person has this going on, this person has that going on. So one of the things I started doing was, every third Sunday of the month, because the main thing, since we was kids, I've always loved to cook. And
Mm-hmm.
even though my kids are out of the house, they still pop by. They always call and asking if I cooked, or Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because I feel like, food is for the soul. It speaks to the
I
soul
know.
and
We
to the
love
heart,
feeding
and,
people.
and you always bring people together. You can always bring people together with food. So um
That
we
part.
started I started a tradition for us where every third Sunday of the month we have family dinner. And the girls cook one Sunday and the boys cook the next Sunday. So we alternate months. But every third Sunday we have family dinner. It starts at 3 o'clock and everybody comes over. We cook the meal together. We eat
Oh,
together. We play games, laugh, joke, kiki, and then everybody goes home. But I like it because I know at least once a month I'm gonna see all my kids. They bring we allow them to bring their boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever. My mama lives, my mom's in town now, so she lives here.
right.
Her and her husband come. My brother will be living here next month in June, so him and his
Oh,
girlfriend
I
will
didn't
start
know that.
coming.
That's gonna be real
Yep.
cool.
Yep. So it's just nice to have all the family together and be able to kind of hang out with them, and it costs nothing. Everybody brings, we make a list of, we figure out what we making. Everybody
She said
bring
cost nothing.
whatever ingredient and we just cook and hang out. It costs nothing. So,
That's a good thing because that's a lot of people to feed to
uh,
not cost nothing. But
like, we
but like
cost
you
the
say,
fishing. I said we cost
creating
the
those
fishing
memories
over
is
here.
it.
Yeah, and especially for my adopted daughters, because they say that a lot. Like, that was our biggest thing with having a vow renewal. We have the wedding photos up, and they were like, "We really wish we would have been adopted. Y'all would have adopted us younger, or we would have been able to live with y'all when we were younger,
Oh,
and that way we could have had more memories with y'all." So, that's why we made it a point in the vow renewal to make sure that they were included, and then these are memories that they can have for their kids as well. So.
I know. Look, this not even part of the question. Because we're talking about motherhood and how things have been
Mhm.
challenging and things like that for you. But Pinky, can you give like your recent surgery? Like how has all of this newness been? Like how has that been affecting you as a mom? Like tell people just a little story, some background on you.
So, as at 15, I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in my neck, chest, liver, and abdomen. So I did a year of radiation. I did a year of chemo treatment. That caused a lot of damage to my heart. So in 2015, I had open heart surgery to have my mitral valve replaced. 2017, I had another open heart and had my aortic valve replaced. And then last year, I was supposed to have another open heart, because those mechanical valves that they had replaced were malfunctioning. But they
Mhm.
decided there was just too much damage to my heart. So in January of this year, 2025, I had a heart transplant, and the heart was too big for my chest, so they couldn't close me up. So they had to bring in a plastic surgeon to do a procedure that's never been done to be able to basically kind of build out my chest plate with cadaver bones and plates and bolts, and they in order to close me up. So um I didn't allow the kids to come to the hospital. I sat down with them before to try to explain to them what the process or what I was going to look like coming out of it. Um, because none of them have ever been around when I went through
Right.
my procedures. Um, I don't want to say around, but they were babies, so I know they don't remember. Um, and then James, my husband, was at in the military, so he was off at military school. We weren't married at the time, so he wasn't allowed to stay for my heart surgery. So he hadn't ever seen me like that either. By the time he came back, I was out of recovery. I was doing fine. Um, so I tried to prepare them for what they were gonna see,
Right.
but they wasn't prepared at all. So there was one point I didn't know until I came home where, the heart was too big, so they couldn't close me up.
Yeah.
James was talking to me and he expressed to me that he actually when they had me open, as soon as the surgery was done, they had to leave me open because they couldn't close me, but they did allow him and Jamad to come and see me. And
Yeah.
he said Jamad just kind of broke down. He couldn't take it, but he said they could literally see my heartbeat because it was only covered with a bandage, like gauze, so they could see my heart beating. And when he told me that, when I, once I woke up and I had all these tubes coming out of me, and I couldn't talk. I had a breathing tube down my throat. I had a feeding tube down my nose. So I was like, yeah, I don't want any of the kids up here to see me. Um, when he expressed to me how bad Jamad had broke down, I realized like my kids only know me to be strong. And they've said it before. They tell
Wow.
me all the time, like they've never seen me break down or be upset, or well, not be upset, but they just never saw me in a weak state, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So Jamad, after the fact, when I came home, he was texting and stuff and was like he just was having a hard time ever since he saw
Mm.
me like that. And so now that I'm better, he's better, but he just, that was a traumatic moment for him, I think. And had I thought about it prior to, I probably would have, well, not probably, I definitely would have told James that none of the kids were allowed to come up and see me in the hospital like that. So, since I've been home, um, the first couple of weeks they were acting like I was glass. So, I couldn't walk or move without them running through the house, asking if I'm okay or where I'm at. Um, but now they're kind of back to normal, but my two baby girls, Trisha and Jamaria, they don't let me out of their sight. They harass me all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's a problem. I'm gonna call them folks on them.
Girl,
But
yes. Oh my
they
gosh.
do. Trisha be calling, talking about what you doing at Walmart. You been there for a minute. Ma'am.
So they got your location as well.
Yes, yes.
And they
They
say,
are
yeah, you not
stalkers.
about to be,
Yeah, they
you
stalk.
can't be doing too much on none of the above.
Yeah, so
Like with all of that going on, like because it was a lot, and even talking to James through everything, because I said, guys, like it was
mhm.
a lot to process, and so I know if it was a lot for me to process as your friend, I could only imagine how the kids process everything.
Yeah.
You know,
And one thing I will
and so like
about
with
James is that
mhm,
he is amazing at just being like the kids know that they can lean on him. He's always there. He always gives them a shoulder to cry on. Like he is a great, like, we definitely balance each other out because I'm not great in that department, and he definitely takes care emotionally of all the kids and makes sure that they're okay. So I appreciate him and love him to death for that.
mm, oh, all right, bro. Um, I know earlier you said your kids are they always see you in your
Mm.
strong state, right? So, if your children could describe you in 3 words, what words would they say or why?
They would probably say strong
Hmm.
because I'm always, for me, there's never an issue. If they bring me a problem, my answer is let's find a solution. Um, I tell them all the time, it's okay to have a moment, but it needs to be just that, a moment. I'm gonna give you a day, and after that day, I'm gonna need you to get up and figure it out. We ain't got time to just kind of lay in a dark hole. We gotta get up and figure it out. And I think that just comes from all the health issues and the stuff that I went through as a kid. I didn't have nobody to save me. So I had to figure it
Mm,
out. And so I really want them to have that same mentality in life. They get mad at me when I tell them, y'all need to know these things because I'm not always gonna be here. And they just kind of, they don't want to hear that. They always like, yes, you are. We don't want to hear that. So, but I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all. So, strong, definitely.
uh-huh.
Um, I don't want to say mean. I want to use a nice word for mean, but I'm gonna say blunt. That's what it is, because that's what I
Okay, yeah,
tell.
you're definitely blunt.
Yes, I'm
You're
not
definitely
mean.
blunt.
I'm just very straightforward and blunt. You know what I'm saying? So So they either love what I have to say or they hate what I have to say. But they know I'm telling them the truth. I'm not gonna lie to them. So
Yeah,
they would definitely say that I'm blunt. Um, and then I think they would say I'm cool. I'm funny. I am.
you
I
are
feel
funny.
like, yeah, I'm a good time. They know that.
Yeah,
So yeah, they as much as they talk about me and say I'm mean, I'm like, I don't understand how I'm mean and y'all won't get out my face. Cause
yes.
for me to be so mean, y'all over here a lot. Like, if I was that mean, I wouldn't want to be around me.
Well, I know now you feel like they just there, always there. They stuck to you, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's no moment for picnic. But can you describe a time where you felt like you were just completely unseen as a mother?
Ooh, child. Various times with various children. So so the way that we grew up, I ran track, you ran track, but I spent a lot of time with our track coach at his house. My mom became a
Hmm.
single mom and was working all the time, and so I really spent a lot of time with them, living with them, and it wasn't just me. There was so many kids in that house that they took care of,
It was.
and I kind of took on that nature. So adopting kids, besides the girls that we've adopted, we've had multiple kids that have lived with us. If parents had issues, my nephew came and lived with us for a little bit. Like,
Hmm.
I'm always my heart will always be open to take in a child and help in any way that I can. Um, but with that, sometimes you get your feelings hurt, too. So
Mm.
my stepson, I love him to death. I've been in his life since he was 4 years old, but I haven't always been afforded the opportunity to be a mother figure to him. And I get it in a sense. I understand that, you know, no mother wants, well, I kind of don't because, I'm not with I'm not with my older kid's father from my first
Uh-huh.
marriage. But I hope and pray that he has somebody that would love on my kids the way that I love on them. I would want somebody
Right.
to basically treat them like they treat their own kids. Um, and there was a lot of times throughout my stepson's life that I wasn't afforded that opportunity, and it was hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Because I love him to death, and we have so much. It's crazy because out of all my kids, like he and I are a lot alike. It's
Hmm.
very weird that we're that much alike, and he's not my biological child. But I love him to death, but I wasn't always afforded that opportunity. So it was definitely a battle
Mm.
throughout, from the age of 4 until, his adulthood, trying to find my place and getting my
Wow.
feelings hurt and feeling like, I couldn't be a part of certain celebrations or I couldn't engage in certain things to celebrate him because I wasn't his biological mama, but I love him like I'm his biological mom. And
Right.
and in my mind, like I feel like that didn't take away from his biological mom. He knows who his mom is. He loves his mom. Um, and I just hated that I couldn't love on him the way I really, really wanted to all those years. I can now, so it's fine. Like love him to death. I still love him to death. I get to see him and I'm thankful for that. But that was really, really hard for me, not being able to just be in his life the way I wanted to.
Yeah. And I
And
mean, it is unfortunate, but I'm glad that you all are able to share that bond now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't talk about that. Like, I think a lot of people don't talk about when stepchildren come in, um, just that dynamic can be just depending on the parents, that dynamic can be good or it can be bad. And so I think a lot of times us as women are like, okay, well, we're doing it for the kids. Because there were times where I'm like, okay, well, I can't go to this celebration, but I'm gonna send the kids to go. And
Right.
so, your kids and your spouse or boyfriend at the time or whatever are out celebrating with his child, and you at home by yourself, just and you're supposed to just get over it, and it's hurtful, you know. And people don't talk about it. People are just like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put the kids first, and you do, but that don't mean that your feelings not hurt, you know. And a lot of people look at it as, oh, well, you don't need to be there, or you don't. But in my mind, in a perfect world, I feel like people should be able to split and co-parent. And it's wonderful for these kids to be able to have, two moms and two dads that love them equally and want to be in their lives and take care of them. Like, there's never enough love. So I
Right.
don't in a perfect world, I just wish that everybody could just have that co-parenting experience where, there's no hate or bias or animosity going on, and these kids can really have a good childhood and be able to experience the people in their lives that love on them without other people having, hidden agendas or using them as pawns in certain situations.
Right. So you were saying that, you had to deal with the hurt. How did you push through the hurt? Like, because I know it's other moms that may be going through similar situations, their spouses or even, like you said, boyfriends and um, children's mothers or child mother and things like that. So how did you push past that hurt of feeling like I have to downplay my love for your child because of how you feel?
Um, I mean, it it took a long time to get. Oh, I don't think I got over it until he was an adult and I could actually talk to him and be around him the way that I wanted to. But I
Hmm.
definitely just kind of lived with it, and I just kept telling myself, pretty much like any other person, everything that I was doing was for this kid. Like, I was like, I love this baby, and I would hate to traumatize him or do something that's going to affect our relationship. And it wasn't just my relationship. I'm like, if I crash out and act a fool, you know what I'm saying, and this goes left, at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's his mama. So I'm like, that means if he's out of my life, he's out of his brothers and sister life who he grew up with. And then, of course, this is my husband's son. So then how does my husband navigate those waters? So,
Right.
I just kept telling myself I just tried my best to not be a problem. And even though, it wasn't right at times, again, my love for that boy definitely kept me from doing some stuff I probably would have regretted later on. So, I mean, it's
Okay.
not easy at all. And I had my little days, and I done called you yelling, cussing, fussing, crying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like I said, I've always been like, it's crazy because you're like, okay, if I do this, when you're young, you like, hey, I'm gonna crash out, I'm YOLO. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
going for it.
It's
But
not YOLO.
but a lot of times, I mean, again, motherhood took over first because I was like, if I do this, how is it going to affect him? How is it going to affect my kids? How is it going to affect his dad? So, it's crazy how it does just take over your life because you don't question situations and consequences for you anymore. Because
Right.
you know us. I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one on the chin. But when it come to my kids and my husband, I'm like, okay, they might not be such willing participants with my shenanigans.
I don't think so, Pink. Me back in the day and kind of semi now, yeah.
Mhm.
Them, no, they can't take
Yeah,
part.
so I'm like, yeah, they not riding with me like that yet.
No, they shouldn't. Oh man, well look, we're getting close to closing out on day two of Mother's Tea. But is there anything else that you would want to share? Because I know, you gave out a lot of knowledge tonight, today. Um, but was there anything that I did not ask that you just want to make sure that you share with other moms that's out there?
I would say, don't be hard on yourself because I know I've had my days where I've sat and questioned my motherhood and asked myself, the kids will voice their opinions about certain things, and I think kids don't understand as kids that they hurt our feelings because we're so strong all the time, and it may not
Mhm.
be. Well, it for sure ain't nobody cussing at me or calling me on my name or nothing, but just small things like, well, you yell too much, or you. And I think because my kids think I'm so strong, they think that these are just little things that don't bother you. But
Hmm.
what I would say is, tell yourself you're a good mom and do your affirmations every morning, because if I sit there and I poke you in the shoulder, it's not gonna hurt you. But if I poke you in that same spot for the next 5 years, eventually it's gonna bruise, and then it's gonna break, and then it's gonna be a problem. Your shoulder gonna
Yeah.
be all out of whack. So we have to take the time to make sure that, even though, because in our minds we always on go, so we like, it's a little thing, it's a little thing, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's not, sis. Like, take the time to make sure that you good. Them affirmations, go to, you the queen of going to lunch by yourself, or going to I go to the movies by myself. Whatever you need to do to make sure that you maintain your sanity, and let yourself know that, like, you're a good person. You're doing the best you can. You don't have to be perfect, and anybody that's telling you they perfect, they a lie. So you have to take care of you. You can't be a good mom if you're not taking care of yourself.
All right. So, Pinky, for the people who are listening or who's watching right now, go ahead and drop your social media handles so they can follow you as you continue to go on your journey.
Okay, on Facebook, you guys can follow me on Rise and Rain. That's RISE ampersand REIGN. That's my Facebook page. It's a motivational page for women that I started because I was motivated by my sis Shantae with her empowerment. She's always empowering other women, and I just wanted to kind of piggyback off her and help spread the love. So that's my Facebook. And then you can follow me on TikTok at coach_pinky, and on Instagram at lady_London.
Well, y'all, that concludes day 2 of Mother's Tea, a series of Mother's Tea on Ty as a Mother podcast. Pinky, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out and sharing with the people your story, your mother's tea that you're spilling, just to encourage other moms and things like that. So you all, please join us for day 3. We have some more amazing moms who are going to share their stories and be that encouragement and be that light to others that need this. So that is it for today, y'all. We will see you all tomorrow.